Hello everybody, welcome to my class. Today I am going to solve some of the problems from trigonometry which are frequently asked question by the grade 10 students. So let's wait for sharing the screen. So here I am going to solve these two problems where you can see it is here find the value of sine 20 degrees, sine 30 degrees times sine 40 degrees times sine 80 degrees. And we have another sum as if a plus b plus c equals to pi radian, prove that sine square a minus sine square b plus sine square c equals to 2 sine a cos b and sine c. So in order to deal with these sorts of problems, this is necessary for us to remember this sort of formula. So here you can see this is important trigonometrical ratios results. So there might be the use of other formula as well, but here at this time for these two problems this is important to remember this formula. So let's start. First problem, as I have mentioned here, that find the value of sine 20 degrees, sine 30 degrees, sine 40 degree and sine 80 degree. So you may start from here. All right. So here you see that this is sine 20 degrees. So we write here sine 20 degrees. And then we have sine 30 degree. You know that sine 30 degree is 1 by 2. So you should also understand the value of sine, cosine with their degrees where the standard values are given. So here you should know that sine 30 degrees value is 1 by 2, and if you need for cos, then cos 30 degree value will be root 3 by 2, something like that. And then times, you can just write sine 40 degree because sine 40 degree is not the standard value. So we have to see some pattern in order to get to the answer. And then times it is sine 80 degrees. All right. So 1 by 2 is a number. So keep it aside over here. And what I'm doing at this point is that this is sine 20 degree and times sine 40 degrees. I'm taking these two sine ratios together and then times sine 180 degrees. So look at here now. I'm now taking the combination of sine 20 degree and sine 40 degree in order to reach to the result, because at this time I believe that there will be some values of sine like 30 degree or cos 30 degrees, 60 degree, 45 degree, because I can see here that 20 plus 40 is 60 degrees. So this is easy to write the value of sine. Okay, so at this point, just based on the formula that we have seen just now, what if I write 2 over here? So you can write here 2, then you have to balance by 2, and then you have to move further in that way. Okay. So here, this is 1 by 2. So here in the denominator, 2 you can take it here. So this is 2 times of 2. And then this is inside the bracket, we have 2 sine 20 degrees. And then sine 40 degrees. All right. And then equals times sine 80 degrees. Now look back to the formula that it was here. So this formula you can see here. So here we require 2 sine A sine B form. All right. So here we have, this is 1 by 4. So this is type of, you can say this as A and this as B. So this is in the form of. So in order to make our work easy, let's write the formula first. This is cos A minus B. If you understand, 2 sine A sine B, then 2 sine A sine B equals to cos A minus B that we have seen earlier, and this is cos A plus B. We close the bracket and times this is sine 80 degree. So if you remember the formula, you can go directly. Otherwise, better you write down the formula and then go further into the steps. So now let's go further here. So this is 1 by 4. So this is cos. If you compare, so you have here in place of A is 20, so you can write here 20 degrees. You can also put degrees, and in place of B here it is 40, so you can write here 40 degrees. Similarly, minus, this is cos. A is 20 degrees plus B is 40 degrees, and then close the bracket, and this is sine 80 degrees. All right, and then let's go further here. So this is 1, and then outside we have here sine 80 degree. Okay, and now let's take this to outside. So it is 1 by 4 times 2 in the denominator, and here we have already 2. And now what we do actually, that we multiply the bracket by this sine 80 degrees. So this is 2 cos 20 degrees, and then it is sine 80 degrees, and then it is minus 1 time of sine 80 degrees, sine 80 degrees. Okay, so let me use a few more space over here. Okay, and now you can see here there is 1, and 4 times 2 is 8. Now again here, so for this sort of thing, this is sine A plus B means 20 plus 80 degrees, and then in between them we have negative sign, that is minus. This is sine, and right here 20 minus 80 degrees. Although this is going lengthier, but that's easy if you follow the steps. And then you are remained with here minus sine 80 degrees, okay, inside the bracket. And then after we have 1 by 8 here, so this is sine 100 degrees, and then this is minus sine 20 minus 80 is, it is minus 60 degrees, and then this is minus sine 80 degrees already here. So here you can rewrite this sort of thing. This is 60 degrees, should be inside the bracket. This is 1 by 8, and then we have sine, this is 100 degrees, sine 100 degrees. You can see here that this is sine. We know that sine minus theta or minus any angle is minus of sine. For the cos it is positive, but for sine this is negative for the negative angle. So it is minus 60 degree. That means you can write here minus time minus is plus sine 60 degrees, and then we have here sine 80 degrees. All right, so let's go further into the step. We have 1 by 8, and then we have sine 100 degrees, and then this sort of thing we take together, the sine and sine, that's the trigonometric ratio here. This is sine 80 degrees. Okay, and then you are left with plus sine 60 degree, and you know that sine 60 degree is under root 3 by 2. So you should know that value of sine 60 degrees, which is supposed to be the standard value, this is root 3 by 2. Okay, so all these are inside the bracket. Now you can see that this is in the form of sine C and sine D formula, and you should know that sine C and sine minus sine D is, right here sine C minus sine D is 2 cos C plus D by 2, and then sine C minus D by 2. So we apply this formula over here. So next step will be here. This is 1 by 8. So in place of C you can take 100 degrees, and in place of D you can take 80 degrees. So it is 2, and here you can see in the formula this is cos, so you can write here cos C plus D means 100 plus D is 80. and this is divided by 2 times, you have sine c minus d. Yes, so it is sine c means it is 100, minus d means it is 80, and then according to the formula this is divided by 2. Okay, and you are left with here under root 3 by 2. So you know that, cos 90 degrees value is, yes, this is 0. So we put here in place of cos 90 degree, we put here 0. Then this is times sine 90 degrees, sorry, sine 10 degrees, and then plus under root 3 by 2. And we have here 1 by 8. Then inside the bracket 0 multiplied with any number. So whole thing from 2, 0 and sine 10 degree will be 0 over here. And then plus it is root 3 by 2. So finally this is 1 by 8 times root 3 by 2. And you can multiply the denominators and numerator also. So 1 times root 3 is root 3. And 8 times 2 is 16. So this is the answer. So have a look from beginning to now. Okay, so let's go to solve another problem. Okay, here you can see that it is given that a plus b plus c equals to pi. That means this is pi radian, right? That is 180 degrees. And prove that sine square a minus sine square b plus sine square c equals to 2 sine a cos b and sine c. Okay, so you may start to solve this problem from here now. So in fact it is to prove left hand equal to right hand side. So you can start from saying here, or you can just write here that LHS, that is left hand side, is it is sine square a minus sine square v plus sine square c. Here also you need to manage the terms, that which terms are going to work while starting at first. For example, it is sine square a minus sine square b, or sine square a plus sine square c, or minus sine square b plus sine square c. So you have to decide it, and your speed depends on how you are used to of all this sort of formula. That is, those are applicable here. So let me start from first two terms. So sine square a means here you know that one formula is sine square a equals to, it is 1 minus cos square a, and then we have to remember other form of formula also. So it seems that it is a plus b plus c equals to pi. If it is mentioned, that means you have to keep the sign in terms of without having power more than 1. So sine a cos a term like that. So another formula for sine square a is 1 minus cos 2a divided by 2. And you should also understand that, for example, where it is applicable, we will apply. So this is a plus b plus c is given pi. So it means if you require a plus b, you can write in place of a plus b pi minus c. In place of b plus c, you can write here pi minus a as needed. And in place of a plus c, you can write here pi minus b as required. So in place of sine square a, you can write here 1 minus cos 2a by 2, and then it is minus, so write here minus. So in place of sine square b, only difference is there, this is angle b, so it is 1 minus cos 2b by 2, and then it is plus sine square c. So in the next step, let's separate this fraction. So it is 1 minus cos 2 by 2 can be written as 1 by 2 then minus 1 by cos 2a by 2 you can write here. So just to separate the fraction. So if you take 2 and 2 LCM, you'll have the same term like 1 minus cos 2a by 2. And we do the same similar work over here. So this is 1 by 2. And while splitting this, it is minus. So this is another minus, times minus will be plus. So we can write here plus cos 2b by 2. And then we have plus sine square c as it is. And now you can see here, this is plus 1 by 2 and this is negative 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2. So those are cancel out. So you are left with minus cos 2 by 2 and plus cos 2 by 2, and this is sine square c. So probably we write the plus terms here. For cos, so it is, you can write, or you can take 1 by 2 common out. So here it is cos 2b. Then it is minus cos 2a. And we keep them together because you can see that it is resembles the formula form of sine c minus cos c minus cos d. So we keep them together, and then outside we write here sine square c. And now let's move forward. This is 1 by 2, and you know that cos c minus cos d is going to be, although this is not necessary to write the formula here, but it makes you clear to understand how the formula has been used in this case. So here in place of 2b, you can suppose this as d and this as 2a as c. So it is like cos, this is c and this is d. So it will be like cos c minus cos d, where this formula is applicable. And then if you are using this formula in that way, so it is going to be right. So it is 1 by 2 gets multiplied up till here only. So you can cancel 1 by 2 and 1 by 2 because bracket is up till here only, not for sine square c. So now here we have, so here in this case 2, we can do that later in the step, in the main step. So it is 2 sine, you can see us in place of c, this is 2b, so we can write here 2b, and then it is plus c2c, and then plus it is 2b, and then in place of d you can see here 2a, so you can write here 2a and divided by 2 times sine, but d in this case is 2a, so you can write here 2a minus of this formula, minus c means it is 2b, so you write here 2b and divide this by 2 according to the formula, and keep this sine square c outside as it is. And then what you can do here is that this 1 by 2 is outside of this bracket. That means 1 by 2 gets multiplied to this bracket terms only, so that here you can see that in the numerator, 2 and 2 got cancelled out. So here you have sine. Now if you take 2 common, then 2 and 2 will cancel out. So b plus a means you can also write here a plus b. And then here 2 will be again common here. So this is b. This is b. So 2 is out and 2 in the numerator and denominator, they got cancelled out. So here it is sine a minus b. Alright. And plus it is sine square c. So in the step ahead, we have here sine. You can see here that sine a plus b, and just we have just now discussed about that. If there is a plus b, you can also write pi minus c. Now to match up with the situation which you can take common, for example here sine c. So in place of a plus b, you can write here pi minus c, and then times it is sine a minus b is already here. It is a minus b. And then it is sine square c. Then next step is, you know that sine 180 minus theta is sine theta. Alright, because this is in the second quadrant, and the second quadrant sine remains sine for 180 minus theta. So it is sine 180 minus theta is sine theta. So it is sine, in place of theta we have c. Then it is sine a minus b, okay, and then plus it is sine square c. We have, you can see from these two terms, we have sine c and sine C common, so you can take sine C and sine C common out. So here if you take sine C common, it is outside, this is sine C, and inside the bracket you have here now sine A minus B, and then plus here not a sine square but only sine C is remained here, so this is sine C. Now what you can suppose here, that again it is in the form of sine C plus sine D. Alright, so you can suppose whole thing as C and whole thing as D, not this C. So I'm talking about the pattern. So this is in the pattern of sine C plus sine D, and you know that sine C plus sine D formula as, so let's write the formula for the better understanding. So sine C, if you suppose is C and D, then sine C plus sine D is given by 2 times of sine C plus D by 2, and then times cos C minus D by 2. Although this is not necessary to write this formula, only we can use this, but for the better understanding I am writing here. Okay, so in place of this sort of thing, so let's relate with this formula. This is sine C is outside, and then this is 2. You can see here in the formula this is sine C plus D, so it is sine, in place of C you can see that this is A minus B, okay, and plus D means in place of D it is C over here, so C divided by 2, so you can write here 2, and then times you have cos, what is C minus D, so this is A minus B, and this is in fact C for the formula, and then minus C which is D for this formula, so this is divided by 2. Now in the further step you can see here 2 times of sine, and you know that from this pattern it is given that A plus B plus C is pi, and here it is written as A plus C. So in place of A plus C you can write here pi minus B, so we write here pi minus B, and its continued B is here, so it is B, and this is going to be divided by 2. And then in here it is cos, we have A minus B plus C, you can see here B plus C, you can write here pi minus A, so in place of B plus C you can write here pi minus A, and this is divided by 2. Okay, and now if you go further from here is that it is, we have now this is 2 sine, so here it is what you can see is here that this is pi, so you can write here pi by 2 minus B is 2 times of B minus B divided by 2, and then we have, yeah, one thing we are missing out from here, so sine C is continued here. Okay, so this is sine C is continued here, and sine C is continued here, right? And then it is, we are working with cos, so it is cos, we have here, yes, A minus pi plus A, and in this case if you open this bracket, so that in this case if you do this way then it will be A plus A, so let's write here A plus A as 2A. So here it is 2A minus pi by 2. Okay, and further step it is 2 sine C, and then it is sine pi by 2 minus 2 and 2 in the numerator and denominator, they got cancelled out, so it is only B. And then we have here cos, in this case you can write this way, like if you take minus common it's going to be A by 2, 2A by 2, sorry, 2A by 2, and in place of minus common then not this way, So if you take minus common, so minus thing will be in front as plus, so it is pi by 2 minus 2a by 2. And let's move ahead. So we have here 2 sine c, and then it is, and you know that sine pi by 2 minus b means this is like sine 90 minus theta. So from the cast rule it is sine theta, sine 90 minus theta is cos theta, so in place of theta it is b, so it's going to be cos b, and then it is minus of this angle, so sine cos minus theta is cos theta, that I have discussed earlier. So applying the same sense over here, it's going to be cos pi by 2, and here also it is minus, and then 2 and 2 you can cancel from denominator and numerator, so you are remained with here a. So you can see here that it is 90 minus theta, so by using the cast rule, cos 90 minus theta is sine theta, so here it is a, so we write here sine a. So it is now sine c cos b, you have already worked for, and now you know that sine 90 minus a is cos 90 minus a is sine a. So finally we have 2 sine a cos b, and then it is sine c, and I think this is now the right hand side. Yes, that we need to prove. Yes, this is 2 sine a cos b and sine c, and here also we got 2 sine a cos b and sine c, and hence this is proved. So let's see it again from beginning to now. Okay guys, hope it will help you to solve problems like this, even if you encounter different problems than it is, but related to this sort of pattern. So this is all for now.